Here's another little Sundays with Steve, because it's just me on the boat talking to you, so I don't have to talk to myself. This one, if you're a Trump fan or you just heard too much about him, skip it. Just next week I promise I won't mention him. Kind of promise. But this one, I'm just going to talk about Trump a little bit because I'm not obsessed, but I care about the world, I care about me, I care about my friends, and one person, Trump, is causing total freaking chaos in the world of trade. I know people who work in the trade industry, and they're like, yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. Tariffs going up, tariffs going down, tariffs going sideways. What the fuck? And tariffs don't work anyway. That's not, I mean, you've heard it 1,000 times, I'm not even going to repeat it. They just don't work how he's saying they work. And here's a weird thing that's happening, is because people can't export stuff from America, well, they can export stuff, but the people aren't buying. There's actually a surplus of some things, like, I don't know, cranberries, that have a shelf life, and yet they can't export them. So people are going into the store and going, hey, the price of vegetables is down. Yes, it is down because they can't export them, because they get somewhere else and they're like, no, we're not paying the tariffs. So yes, your prices might have dropped a little bit, but that's nothing to what's coming. Another thing that's happening is companies have stockpiled things just in case. Apple rented 5 cargo aircraft and filled them full of iPhones and gear just to get it into America before the tariffs hit. You've also heard people talking about the ports being dead. Well, it's not exactly true. The ports aren't as dead as people are saying. There are still boats coming and going. But the boats that are arriving from China are fewer, and they're not full. They might have containers on them, but those containers are quite often completely empty because they've been, like, the world container system is completely computerized, and people know where every single container is at any one point, and they know where it's going to be in 6 months, so they can book it and stuff. So if it's needed somewhere else, whether it's full or empty, it's loaded on board and it arrives in the port of Los Angeles. But the actual tonnage of goods that's being imported is 35% down. And that is crazy, because 35% is a massive amount of not happening, you know? It's like if you were running a race and you were 35% slower than the first guy, you're still going to be running around when that guy's in the bar. So that's just 35% is terrible. And then Trump's going after lawyers. Anyone that he doesn't like, he's setting the Department of Justice on. And you can't do that. That's against every principle of American law. And it's like, the courts are doing their best, but there's so much shit coming down the fucking pipeline that they're struggling. You know, even the Supreme Court is like, what the fuck? So the courts are doing their best to put the brakes on, but there's nobody within the Trump organization with the brakes on. You know, you've got idiots like Hesketh and Bondi, and they're all idiots. RFK is a fucking idiot. He's investigating chemtrails. Why would you investigate something that... It's like he's investigating unicorns. It's really sad because you've got people like Abrego Garcia in jail in fucking El Salvador, and 2-year-olds being deported. That everyone in the world is seeing this shit. everybody. And America's reputation has just, it's like if you invited someone to dinner and they took a fucking shit in the salad. They're not ever coming to dinner again. Ever. You'd be like, oh no, it's that guy that took a shit in the salad. No, don't invite him. So any trade, tourism is dropping. Trade, tourism, is just plummeting off the fucking face of the earth. And you won't feel it in America yet. It's not really biting until about 2 or 3 months, and then you're going to see the prices tick up. And when I say tick up, I mean like just fucking going up badly. Everything you buy, you know, it's going to get more expensive, and your wages are not going up. And once the prices go up, they never go down. They'll go down a little bit, but if they go up like 50% and drop down 20%, that means they're continuously 30% higher than they were. So congratulations, America. You've managed to get yourself into the biggest fucking stupid situation possible. Everyone was saying, don't elect Trump. He keeps on talking about tariffs. Look at the cabinet he says he's going to pick. And he picked the cabinet he picked. You know, he said he was going to do it. He did. Promises kept. But those are the only promises he's kept. He hasn't dropped prices. He hasn't dropped the price of gasoline down at all. He just goes on and says the price of gasoline has dropped to $1.90. No, it fucking hasn't. It's $3.80. That's the average price. And it's just like, people don't care. They just say, oh, it's black is white. And all the little maggots are like, oh, black is white? Who knew? I love you, Trump. You might. I don't know. It's just so stupid. And everyone you speak to is like, everyone I speak to around here is like, the fuck's going on with America? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with America. I don't know where it's going to end. But it's not going to be in a good place. Hey, happy Sunday.